Welcome into the Ian Fritts Show, everybody. It is me, Ian Fritts, and I have my second chance bracket that I am filling out right now. Some people don't fill out the second chance bracket, and I'm thinking, why wouldn't you? They're giving you a second chance to win some money. I'm going to take that second chance, and I'm going to do it 24 more times after I do this one, okay? That is what I will do. I advise you all to do the same. Now, I'm doing this because my first bracket, as everyone out there is, everyone else's bracket is busted, okay? My 25 bracket's busted. Your 25 bracket's busted. Everybody's brackets are busted, okay? And it happens every year, and I convince myself every year, this is the year I'm making a perfect bracket. This is the year I get it done. Wrong, and I will continue to be wrong, but I love it. You keep coming back. It's like cocaine. If I've ever done cocaine, I'm assuming I would get addicted to cocaine. I'm addicted to making brackets. We're making one right now for the YouTube video. Now, some of you have messaged me and you said, hey, Ian, maybe you just don't tell people to make your bracket based off your bracket, okay? I never told anybody to make their bracket based off my bracket. That's one. Anybody that follows my bracket should not. They should not follow. Don't follow anybody else's bracket, okay? Your bracket is your bracket and yours alone, and it is your responsibility. You got to own up to the mistakes you made picking your bracket, okay? I'm talking to one of you in particular that I know is watching this video. You cannot blame me for that. You got to blame yourself. Look in the mirror and think, I listened to this guy pick his bracket, and I thought he had some good points, some good data backing up his picks, and it didn't pan out. That's on you. That is not on me because I'm being fed the data by watching these teams play, and the data lied in the first two rounds. The data lied, but I've watched these teams play through two rounds every single game. I've watched every single one of these games. I know these teams. I know what they're playing like right now. I've seen some of them in person. There is no way I do not have a perfect Sweet 16 bracket right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I may start sweating here in a second because it is hot in this room. I'm talking furnace, and I am just overheating, but we will power through because that is what we do for you people. Okay, first off, I think this is going to be one of the best Sweet 16s we've ever had. Let me just get that out the gate. Also, I think it's been one of the best tournaments we've ever had, folks. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. Duke, St. John's. Woo, baby. Oh, yeah. Come on. Give me some Duke and St. John's. Yeah. Give it to me right now, okay? I believe this is a Friday game. Duke, St. John's. Look. Every time I watch Duke, and Cam Boozer in particular, I think this is the guy that everybody says is the best player in college basketball. I'm looking at these other dudes, and they're doing a lot more than Mr. Cam Boozer is. And then you look up, and he's got 25 points and 15 rebounds on 65% shooting. And you think, what? It's kind of the Joker effect, okay? If you watch NBA, you'll watch a game with Nikola Jokic sometimes, especially in person. You think he's not having that great of a game, and then you look up in the third quarter, he's got 35 points, 25 assists, and 35 rebounds, and you're thinking, what? When did he do all of that? That's kind of the Cam Boozer right now, okay? Now, obviously not to that degree, but you watch him play, and you think this is what we're getting from Cam Boozer, and then you look at the end of the game, he has the best stats of anybody in the entire game. So watch out for that if you watch this game on Friday night. And then with St. John's, oh baby, this defense. This is old-fashioned, just hit each other football back in the day, okay? Just smash mouth football, but in basketball, okay? Smash mouth football, but in basketball. That's the St. John Johnnies, okay? That's the Red Storm. And now, better basketball team? I think Duke's a better basketball team. So let me get that out the gate, okay? But in terms of who's playing better basketball right now, I don't think you could pick a better basketball team. Maybe 3 or 4 teams right now are playing better basketball than the St. John Johnnies, okay? Than the Red Storm. But I think we've got to go with the talented team of the Duke Blue Devils. I think, look, I'm trying to get a perfect bracket here. I'm not doing, I want to pick a 15 seed, be a 2 seed like I do in my regular brackets. No. Second chance is for perfection, okay? They're giving me a second chance to get a perfect bracket. I'm going to try to get a perfect bracket, okay? So we're going to, my gut's telling me St. John's is going to get this upset, and I do know Duke is going to get upset in this tournament at some point, and I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to go St. John's. I know everybody, I just went on that spiel. Hey, you got to take Duke, better team. I'm getting a perfect bracket. And you know what? I'll be heartbroken, okay, if St. John's doesn't get this done, but that's okay. That can happen to me. It can happen to you. So if I pick St. John's, you should probably pick Duke. That's the advice I'm going to give you. Now, do you take that advice? I just told you not to take my advice. So what do? Do you pick St. John's? You do. Or you don't. I don't know. Michigan State, UConn. Was just watching UConn last night. And, UCLA pulled within a couple, and then Caravan would go on a 15-point scoring run by himself, and then UCLA would pull within a couple, and then Caravan would go on a 15-point scoring spiel by himself. I just don't know if I trust the UConn Huskies. These four teams right here in particular are a bunch of teams that I just don't trust. I don't trust Duke. I don't trust St. John's. I don't trust Michigan State. And I don't trust UConn. I don't trust any of these teams right now, but I got to pick two of them. I picked St. John's and Michigan State. Look, Jeremy Fierce Jr., I'm just not sure that guy's going to get it done against UConn. But Tom Izzo, he always gets there. But Dan Hurley, if he gets to the Sweet 16, he makes it to the national title game. I'm going with UConn, okay? Give me UConn. Give me St. John's, UConn, and they're going to run it back for a third time this year. We're moving over to the West. Arizona, Arkansas, Texas, Purdue. Okay, Arizona, Arkansas was the game that I was maybe... I think I picked it in every single one of my brackets was Arizona, Arkansas. I cannot wait for this game. Darius Acuff is the most exciting basketball player, and maybe the point guard he was going up against at High Point in the round of 32. That point guard duel will go down in history. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head right now for High Point. I'm sorry if you were watching this. That is on me. You killed it. Came up short, but you killed it. That was unbelievable. And then you look at Arizona, and they just slowly kind of beat you to death. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. It's not Darius Acuff, okay? But then they just win by 20. They win by 15. They're always ahead. They're never trailing. They call timeouts at the right time. They don't go on these flashy 30, 50, 70-point runs like some of these other teams do. But they're a solid, well-disciplined basketball team. But they can get A-cuffed, okay? That's one thing I know about Darius Acuff. If he can do it to anybody. You look at his postseason statistics. The dude's averaging 31 points on 60% shooting from the three. Okay, but one thing I know about Arizona is that they don't have a guy like Darius Acuff, but they have a better overall team. But I'm picking the Arkansas Razorbacks to upset the Arizona Wildcats because I believe in a guy like Darius Acuff, okay? I believe it's March, and you got to have a dude. And Arkansas has that dude. Arizona's got several guys, but they don't have a dude, okay? And you think, Bradley's, Del Rosa, okay, all good, solid players, but they're not Darius Acuff, and I believe in that guy too much to pick against them right now. Texas, Purdue. It's Purdue. Okay, Texas is, there's the little Cinderella run comes up short. Purdue has the big bodies down low to body with Texas down there. Give me Purdue. Michigan, Alabama, Tennessee, Iowa State. This may be the most fun Final Four, Sweet 16 quadrant. And you know what? I take that back. They're all fun. Okay, Michigan, Alabama, though. I didn't think Alabama would get here, and then they just are on absolute blazing fire from three right now, okay? Last night against Texas Tech, they made about 35 threes in a row, and I blink, it was like 20-10, and then I blink, and it's 55-20, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? What happened? Alabama made threes. And if you go with the law of averages, Alabama will not do that again this tournament. They won't do it again. But you think, Ian, they do it every game, every year. No. Not against Michigan. No, they don't. Plus, I love Yaxel Lindenberg. I compared him to Aaron Gordon on my socials. Again, if you're not following on the socials, get over there and follow at Ian Fritts on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. It's a great time. It is a great time over there. Yaxel Lindenberg, his potential in the NBA, I think, is what Aaron Gordon is doing right now. That third option, shoots the three extremely well, rebounds better than anybody on the court, and is physical, tough player on defense. That's what he can be, his potential. Now, he's a little on the older side, so how much room does he have really to grow in his terms of basketball skills, fundamentals, you name it? Can he grow? He's kind of old. I don't know, but I think he can get there. Give me Michigan over Bama. Tennessee, Iowa State. Iowa State was my pick in my original bracket on this channel. Okay, and I still love Iowa State. Their shooting is unbelievable. Whatever the white guy's name is that has the best shooting percentage in the history of college basketball, he's awesome. Tennessee, they have dudes, okay? But, I can't help but think that when the game is on the line, they have Ament inbounding the ball. And then they switched it up later in the game, but then they threw it to him right away and went turnover 2 times. I don't trust Tennessee. Give me Iowa State to get it done. Oh, baby. Iowa, Nebraska, just like we all thought. Nobody in their right minds picked Florida and picked Vanderbilt. No. Instead of the SEC rematch we're getting a Big 12 rematch, heated rivalry, Iowa, Nebraska. And look, I watched Nebraska in person, okay? I watched them in person this tournament. I've seen them up close, okay? Bunch of white dudes. I actually got a text from some close source, and they said, "Is this the whitest basketball team ever?" And I said, "It could very well be." And then we have Iowa, and I got a text, and it said, "Is this the whitest basketball team ever?" Well, I don't know, but we've got the battle of the whites right here, Iowa, Nebraska. It is going to be awesome. These two teams are playing their best basketball right now. These two teams are awesome teams to watch right now. They shoot it. Okay, they shoot it and they make it. Okay, Iowa not so much last night, but it didn't matter. That when they need to shoot it, they shoot it, and when they need to make it, they make it. That was Iowa last night against Florida. Nebraska, they shoot it and they just make it. Okay, I am going with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Okay, they're going to sell out wherever they're playing in Houston. It's going to be Nebraska from the jump. It's going to be only them and only them. Iowa may have some good fans, but no. Nebraska is making it to the Elite Eight, okay? And plus, they have just dudes at every position. And you're like, whoa, Sandfort? The dude just comes off screens, makes threes. He comes off an inbound play, makes a three. He needs to make a three. Vanderbilt's making a run? No, Sandfort, three-pointer, okay? Illinois, Houston. Illinois is a team that I had getting upset earlier on in the bracket. And what did they do? They shut me up pretty quickly. They said, "Ian, you're an idiot. You are stupid. We will not lose. We will go to Houston, and we will play Houston." Now, some of you are thinking, "Ian, this is a neutral site game." No. This is being played in Houston, and Houston they're boa constrictor. They're a boa constrictor. They just slowly tighten you. They're kind of like Arizona in a way, but the defense is a little better at Houston, and the offense a little worse, and Arizona's kind of level in both qualifications there. Houston's just going to squeeze Illinois. But Illinois, they can shoot the three. Okay, they can shoot the three. Houston hadn't played anybody that can shoot the three like an Illinois team right now. And can we get the Fighting Illini in a Big Ten Elite Eight against Nebraska, 3-4? I trust Houston too much, and they got the guard play to make it happen with Uzan, with Flemings, and with Sharp there. I like Houston to get it done. So my Elite Eight right here is we have St. John's, UConn, Arkansas, Purdue, Michigan, Iowa State, Houston, and Nebraska, okay? Do I like that? I hate it, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. That is what we're rolling with. That is what we will go with. St. John's, UConn, rematch again. Does St. John's do it again? Yes, they do. Give me St. John's to the Final Four. Come on, I believe in them too much. I'm riding the Rick Pitino train. Get me St. John's to the Final Four. Arkansas, Purdue. Stylistically, going to be a really interesting matchup. Purdue, number one team in the country coming into this year. Ain't going to happen. Give me Darius Acuff. I love that man. Iowa State, Michigan. At some point, I said, hey, Michigan is going to get upset this year. It's going to happen. I don't know when, but it will. Will it happen in the Final Four? Will it happen in the Elite Eight, or will it happen in the Final Four? Again, I love Iowa State shooting. I'm picking Iowa State. Give me the Cyclones to make it to the Final Four. Nebraska, Houston. Again, the Cinderella team, I think, is that Nebraska team. Everybody's rallying around them, but you're playing in Houston. How does that work out? Nebraska's the best traveling fan base in the country, but they're in Houston. Houston doesn't have to go anywhere. Give me Houston to make it to back-to-back Final Fours. So my Final Four, St. John's, Houston, Arkansas, Iowa State. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my man, Rick Pitino, getting to the national champ. Nope, gut just told me overrid. The gut overrid and said Houston is making it to the national championship game in back-to-back years. The gut just said, no, Ian, dumb pick. And the gut telling me it's Arkansas. It is telling me Darius Acuff is getting to the national championship game. I'm riding Darius Acuff till we get a national championship game. Now, the issue is he's so good offensively, his defense is just trash. And that will bite Arkansas eventually. But it won't against Iowa State. Give me Arkansas, Houston in the national championship. And ladies and gentlemen, does Houston get redemption? Or do they get beat in back-to-back national championships? Houston, it was right there. Boom. Houston was telling me right there. The gut is telling me Houston is going to win it. Darius Acuff does not get it done. And my final score prediction, I don't know. What do we go with? What do we go with final score prediction there for Houston? 151. I like that. So congrats to Houston. Congrats, Kelvin Sampson and everybody there. Back-to-back national championship appearances. But this year, you get it done. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new, subscribe down below. And if you've been watching for a while, I appreciate that. Subscribe on somebody else's phone. We would appreciate that here at Ian Fritts Show headquarters. Follow at Ian Fritts Show on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram as well. I love you guys. Bye.